Hello, are you here to debate?
Yeah, I am.
All right, what's your name and how old are you?
My name is Hamoud. Foreign name. You can just call me Henry, if that's easier. And I'm 18 years old.
All right, no problem. What are you here to talk about?
So, I've been seeing your stream just pop up to me, like, out of, like, nowhere. I'm scrolling on my phone or whatever. Honestly, it's kind of, like, pissing me off just how prideful you are, Kind of pissing me off how uneducated you are on, like, gender and shit like that.
You don't say.
Yeah, I do say. Well, let's start off with the first one. Trans women are women. That is, what is your explanation for that? I'd love to hear it.
Trans women fit into the sociological category of womanhood, so therefore I would call them women. They fit into that social category pretty easily. These categories are socially constructed, so I don't mind that the categories change over time. Actually, would make more sense to change something socially over time.
See, that's the thing. In order to be a woman, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be within the category of acting like a woman. You have to actually be a woman, right?
What's a woman?
A vagina. Woman is a person, excluding intersex people, because intersex people are born sometimes with both parts, right? I'm not ignorant about that, right? Because it's scientific. It's something that's biological. It's not this little social construct that you create, like, oh, I can be a woman, I can be a man, I can do whatever I want.
So woman to you is a biological construct, not a social construct.
No. I'm saying woman to me is someone who is biologically born as a female.
So again, you believe woman to be a biological construct, not a social construct.
Of course.
So there would be no social aspects to the phrase woman under your worldview.
Social, in order for anyone to qualify as a woman, you just have to be biologically a woman, of course.
Just so then there is no social aspect to the term woman per your worldview.
There's no social aspects. What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
You don't believe there to be any social parts to the word woman. You believe it all to be biological.
Well, I do believe that men and women have certain roles, but at the end of the day, if you're born with a vagina, you're a woman. Like, this is how it is.
If you're born with a vagina, you're a woman. So 2-year-olds are women? 2-year-olds with vaginas are women?
Well, I mean, females, to get more specific. If you're born with a vagina, you're a female, and you start out as a little infant, then to a girl, and then into a woman, if you want to get technical.
Well, then, so what is a woman? Can you provide me a definition of the word woman?
Woman
clearly it's not just having a vagina, because you've just said that having a vagina makes you female. So
yeah, I'm speaking basically, I'm not speaking like more specifically. But if you want me to get specific, a woman is someone who is a female who is post-pubescent.
A female who's post-pubescent.
Pretty much, yeah.
So like a 14-year-old would be a woman.
Huh?
So like a 14-year-old would be a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
You consider 14-year-olds women?
I mean, if that 14-year-old is mentally and physically an adult, then she's a woman. She's a young woman.
Mentally and physically an adult. What does that mean?
Meaning that, physically, obviously, you've hit puberty, number one. Number two, mentally, it's like you are mentally able to comprehend things that have to do with adults, right? You are mentally able to comprehend marriage, partnership and like relationships of that sort. You're able to comprehend sexual intercourse. You are able to comprehend things such as, whatever makes you an adult.
Just confirming, you think 14-year-olds are able to comprehend marriage and like intimate relationships with adults?
Well, it really depends on how grown that person is. It really depends on that.
You think there are any 14-year-olds in the world that are mentally capable of that?
Yeah, like people from my culture. See, I'm from a a Middle Eastern culture, right? I'm Palestinian, right? In my culture, a you know, at that age, like when you're especially when you're like pubescent, like you already hit like puberty, and like you're going through changes. That's like one, you're physically becoming a woman, right? And to me, like according to my goddamn, I'm blanking. I'm sorry. According to my culture, if you are physically like able to support a family, then you like if you're mentally physically able to support a family, like you are capable of that, then you are a woman or a man. Same thing goes for a man.
Uh-huh. So just
Uh-huh.
just so that I understand, someone you deem as a man can't identify as a woman, but children can. Somebody who's a little child, them you're fine
I'm
being women.
saying define child. What's a child?
Anybody under the age of 18. Child is a social term. I would say
Mm.
anybody under the age of
You
18 is still
see,
a child.
there's a flaw with that. That's not all people are going to automatically. You see, you're creating a social construct in that within itself, right? That's what you're doing, and I believe it's incorrect because you can see biologically when people, mature. Or you can see biologically when people mature if they're ready to get, in a relationship, or if they're like ready to support a family and they're capable of it, like they want to, or like they need to, then I would consider that, you know,
So how many just a quick
a person, a
question,
man or a
just a
woman.
quick question for you. How many 14-year-olds have you been attracted to in your time?
I mean, when I was 14, yeah, I've been attracted to 14-year-olds. I'm not attracted to 14-year-olds now because typically, 14-year-olds aren't grown women. Typically.
You did say that some are, so you'd be attracted to the ones that are grown.
Well, me personally, no. But if someone was, I wouldn't call that person, weird or anything. It's just,
You wouldn't call somebody weird for being attracted, somebody who's an adult weird for being attracted to a 14-year-old?
if that person is mentally and physically mature, then no.
And yet trans people are the problem.
Yes.
And
Of course.
just confirming again, you believe that, just so that I have my ducks in a row, so that I'm understanding this. You
Mm-hmm.
believe that trans people to be a moral issue, a moral problem. You believe it to be wrong. You believe them to be all these things, but you don't
Well,
believe fucking
I
children is.
I mean, you know, I'm not advocating for
Well,
pedophilia
you
here.
are.
Not,
No, you absolutely are.
but that isn't pedophilia. That is not pedophilia.
You're absolutely
Pedophilia is
you're advocating for
literal children.
predatory behavior from adults towards
I'm not
people.
advocating for
Yes, you
any
are.
predatory behavior. I don't know why you're
Yes, you
trying to
are.
put words in my mouth. Just
Well,
because
you
just
are.
because I have
You
a
think
certain
that it's
opinion doesn't mean I
okay.
agree with another opinion that you
You
have.
think that it's okay for somebody who's, we'll say, 29, right? We'll make that distinction. You think it's okay for somebody who's 29, for instance, to be attracted to and be in a physical and emotional relationship with somebody who's 14, as long as that 14
As
year old has
long
gone
as
through puberty?
long as that person is mentally and physically mature, which is unlikely because 14-year-olds don't really mentally physically mature at that age, right? Especially here in like America, the Western world, right? Not the Western world, more
Especially
like America.
here in
Yeah.
the Western world.
And
Well,
I
according
meant
to
saying
you, well, what is mental maturity to you? Like, what do you view mental maturity to be?
you are well based off of my culture. I would say you are able to support a family,
Being able to support a family makes you mentally mature.
like financially. You're able to support a family.
So it has
You're
nothing to
able to
do with
like run a
so
family
being an
business.
adult has nothing to do, like this isn't biological at all. You're a man or a woman if you
Well,
are
that is
able to
what I'm
support a
saying.
family.
That's part in biological because that's how it is, right? I'm not
Well,
saying social constructs don't have anything to do with it. I'm saying the main
your
thing is that
claim, my friend, your claim was that
okay.
being a woman is a strictly biological thing. But now you're telling me that in order to be considered an adult.
No, okay, no,
which is
no, no.
part of.
Woman, I use that term kind of
I'm
loosely.
not
I
done.
don't use it to specifically. No, no, no.
I wasn't finished. I
Huh?
wasn't finished. I wasn't finished.
Okay, go
Your
ahead. Go ahead.
claim
Go
at the
ahead.
start of this argument was that women are biological creatures, that it's a biological aspect to be a woman. Now you are stating that part of being a woman is being an adult, and part of being an adult is being able to work and have financial security and take care of a family. This would be a contradiction to your original statement that woman is a biological function.
See, I never really claimed that a woman is automatically a little girl, right? I'm saying a little girl becomes a woman. What I meant, see, okay, my apologies on my end for confusing you, okay? Me personally, because sometimes I use the term woman, like I sometimes like, you know, not on like purpose, right? I sometimes like I'll use the word girl for a grown woman when I really mean she's a woman, right? It's a thing like that. Apologies on my end, right? Me, what I define as a woman is someone who is pubescent or post-pubescent and is mentally and physically, mentally an adult, right? So someone who is, a female who is mentally and physically an adult.
What does it mean
That's
to be mentally an adult?
Mentally an adult means that you are able to like support people as a family, right? That's what I define as an adult.
Great. So if woman is not a strictly biological thing, why can the definition not be changed to include trans people in the definition of woman? If woman is not a strictly biological function.
Because I've never said that. Okay, listen. You're acting like it. Oh, I'm saying that like a man can randomly just become a woman. That's not.
Men can't. I'm
what
not
I'm
saying
saying.
men can become women. It's not my claim.
Because men aren't physically female.
It doesn't.
Vice versa.
Wait. So just so we'll see if you can keep up. So the claim that you have made is that there are social aspects to being a woman. My question is, because there are social aspects to being a woman, why can we not change the definition to be a broader social definition than that has mostly nothing to do with biology? Why would this be an issue?
Because, as I said, a woman is a female, born a female, meaning like excluding intersex people born with a vagina, right, who mentally and physically matures into becoming a woman.
Sure. Let me ask you a broader question. Why do women have to be female?
Because that's what a woman is, and that's how it's been defined until like recently.
Are definitions
until like our recent times,
or are definitions prescriptive?
What do you mean? What do you mean
do definitions describe how words are used, or do they prescribe rules for how words have to be used?
They define, meaning describe what words are, or
So
how it is.
Definitions specifically describe how words are typically used. This is how Merriam-Webster formulates their definitions. This is how Oxford formulates. This is how every dictionary formulates their definitions. All they do is describe. Mm-hmm. They don't prescribe. So when you say women have to be female because the definition says women have to be female, this would be what we call an appeal to definitions fallacy. You were saying when the dictionary doesn't make a claim for how words are supposed to be used, they only make a claim for how they are typically used. So my question, again, is why can we not just change the definition? If definitions are not prescriptive and definitions simply describe, why can we not just use the word differently, thus change the definition?
Because definitions are definitions for a reason, right? A female is someone who is born with a vagina. I can't just go and randomly change like, oh no, it's sometimes people who are born with a penis. Like, no. unless you're talking about intersex people, that's different, right? Because
So
this how it goes.
we're
You got
we're we're
male, you
here
got
again
female.
for some
Listen,
reason.
listen, listen, listen. I'm not
I
done
don't
with the
know.
point. I'm not done.
Wait, really quickly. I don't know why we're here again. But as I stated before, definitions are prescriptive. Or I'm sorry, definitions are descriptive, not prescriptive. So if definitions are descriptive, why can the definition not be changed? You can't say the definition can't be changed because it's the definition. That's a circular argument. That argument doesn't say anything. Why can
It
the
really
definition
does
not be
though.
changed when we change definitions all the time? Why is it this definition? You're like, no, we can't change that.
Because we're talking about it in a context of biology, right? We're talking about it in a context of like what a woman is. That's what I mean.
Again, we're only talking about it in the context of biology because that's what the definition currently is. My
Exactly. So
question again, why
would
can we
we
not
change
change said to be more inclusive of people that would fit into a social category? A thing you've already admitted is partly social. So again, I'll just ask the question again.
Yeah,
And
partly
maybe you
social.
can provide an
But
answer that
you
is not
must be.
circular.
Oh shit.
Well, first of all, having a
And then,
vagina does not make you. I don't know if you understand how sex and gender works, but genitalia
I
are
do.
not sex determinant traits. They are traits determined by your sex. They don't determine your sex. So people can be female and not have vaginas. So to say, well, in order to be a woman, you have to have a vagina. This is quite literally. does
So
not
what do you
logically
call
track.
a person with a vagina? What do you call a person? What's the two
Their name
terms
usually.
that they're in their name, really?
Well, yeah, that's my
Their
usual
name.
go-to.
I'm talking about biologically. I'm not talking about them as a person,
Biologically,
right?
it
Who they
depends.
identify
It
as. I'm talking about
depends.
biologically.
It depends on
Hence
their
my
biological makeup. Now, I can say that typically people with vaginas are female, typically, but this is not a rule, so I don't make a rule to impose a definition that would be what's the word I'm looking for? That would impose a necessary condition on something that cannot have a necessary condition, which would be our biological makeup.
But that's what a woman is someone. Listen to what I'm saying, right?
I am.
I'm saying what a woman is someone who is, number one, biologically a female, and number two, who has grown out of being a girl into a woman. That is what a woman is.
I'm going to ask again, why do women have to be female? If your response is because that's the definition.
That's how they're described as. That's how
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So
I don't know what the fuck
your
to tell
whole
you.
argument
Really.
is based upon a fallacy. Again, it's
What
called an appeal.
fallacy?
It's called an appeal to definitions fallacy. This fallacy states that because a dictionary definition states that a word is something,
I'm not
this
looking
cannot
at
be
it as a
expanded
dictionary
upon. You are.
definition. I'm looking
You
at it
are.
as what a
Literally are.
biological female is. A biological female can be a girl, can be a woman, right? That's how it is. Because first, when you first start out, you're a girl, right? On to fucking when you're born to whatever age you start maturing, right? That's what a girl is. And then a woman is when you're maturing to the end of your life. So that's how it typically goes, right? So based off of that, right, us as a society, we created what a woman is. We're saying, oh, a woman is someone who has this biological component plus this mental, physical, this mental maturity.
Yep. I can't believe we're going to be here again. We're back. We're just going in circles now. Why can that not be changed?
Because you cannot physically change your sex. You can't physically change it unless you're in the case of a. I keep bringing this up. Unless you're in the case of an intersex person who can possibly have both female and male parts, that's a special case for it. That's different. I would understand if those people identify differently.
I'm going to ask again, why can we not change the definition to not be related to sex? Why does it have to be
because
related
that's
to
how
sex?
because that's how it is. I mean,
because that's how it
what do you want me to
not
think
an
about
answer.
That? How is that not an answer? That's just what it is, because it's based off of It's based off of biology.
Yeah. So
Based off of biology.
if I travel back in time to like, let's say like 1776, and I said to the founding fathers, "Hey, yo, why can't we get rid of slavery?" And they said, "Well, that's just how it is." That would be stupid, right? That'd be like a dumb response to that question.
Of course. Yeah.
So when I ask you, why can't we change the definition of woman, and you say because that's how it is, kind of silly, right? You kind of recognize how silly that is.
Because that's how naturally biological.
Again, I can't believe I have to ask this question again. Why does the definition of woman have to be tied to some inherent biological category of the female sex?
Because that's how that social construct was originally created.
Because social constructs change?
If it's not relating to biology, then no, it cannot change.
If it's not related,
depending on if the biology changes, actually.
Depending on if the biology
which in this case,
changes.
that like, huh?
It depends. Social constructs would only change depending on if the biology changes.
In this case, yeah, because this social construct is tied with a biological trait.
Because this, again, why does it have to be? Because that's how it always
Why does it have to be?
Yep. Why does it have to be tied to a biological trait?
Because that's how it was created to describe a female, to describe a male who was mentally mature. That's how it is.
So because it was created this way, it can never change.
Exactly.
So because originally the black race was created to legally oppress black people and enslave them, that should have never changed, right? Because that's how that was created.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Oh, so things can change despite of how they were originally.
Because listen, no. Listen, dumbass, listen. Because I'm not saying that the black race was created to be enslaved by white people. That's not what I'm saying at all, and I'm completely against that.
No, what I'm saying is that the social constructs of race were created to enslave and oppress black people. So because of this, that social construct should have never changed. You've agreed that woman is a social construct that was based upon some biological feature.
It partially includes a social construct. Yes.
And that social construct can't change because it was created that way, so it's not allowed to ever change.
Yeah, well, were black people biologically created to be slaves as white people?
No, the social construct of race was created for this.
Exactly.
So you've said that social constructs can't change. So why did this one change?
Because we're looking at race. You know, you're a black man, right? I'm assuming you're a black man.
I guess.
Just tell by the way you look.
Determined by the social construct of race, I guess I would be.
You have a parent of African origin. Do you or do you not?
I have no idea. I haven't done a genealogy test on me or my parents. Who knows? Oh, there's a shocker. All right. The biological makeup of an African American does not tell us that, like, hey, this person needs to be enslaved. The biological makeup that would make absolutely no sense. Don't tell us, hey, this is a woman. If this was the case, every animal would be a woman because there are female animals. The biological makeup doesn't determine what makes you a woman. It's the socially constructed category that you fit into.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If the biological makeup of being female tells us nothing about whether you are a woman because there is no woman gene and we just ascribed female to womanhood, why can we not change this socially constructed category?
Because it's already been prescribed to females.
So again, you believe that we can't change ascribed social constructed things. You believe we can't change those. Based on what?
Based on the fact that based on the social construct that women are biological females. Sorry, getting ready for work.
Your logic is quite literally circular.
It's really not.
Your logic is women are a socially constructed category that we've ascribed onto the biology of female, and that can't change because women are a social category that we prescribed onto the biology of female. This is a circle. This logic goes
No,
in
because
circles.
whenever people who identify as women, they tend to act like the biological female.
What do biological females act like?
Women.
So women act like biological females, and biological females act like women. That's another circle.
No, that's not what I'm saying, actually.
So then what do females act like?
Hold up. 1 second. Hold on. I'm getting ready for work. Just 1 second. All right, I'm back.
Yeah, I'll ask again.
And I'm
what
speaking,
do females act
just to add more context, I'm speaking on a religious perspective.
Wonderful. Religion doesn't prescribe behavior to people. Like, that would be kind of silly. What do females act like? You said that women act like females and females act like women. So what do females act like?
Whatever biological women act like.
What do women act like?
What?
What do women act like?
I can't. Your voice is cutting. I can't hear you.
What do women act like?
That's entirely based off of social construct. That's what I'm saying.
You said that women act based upon being biologically female, but now you're saying women act based upon a social construct.
Because I couldn't hear you. That's why. Now that I hear you
contradicted yourself because you couldn't hear me? That doesn't make sense.
No, because your voice kept cutting out. You were talking about something completely. I thought you were talking about like a different question.
You thought I was talking about what question did you think I was talking about?
On what the biological female typically acts like in terms of a social construct.
You said very specifically, and I quote, women act like biological females, and biological females act like women. How could a question I ask have confused you that greatly that you ran into a circle?
I don't know, man. You're just a confusing guy. You're a
It sounds like
confusing
you just
man,
can't.
male.
It sounds like you just can't substantiate your logic, which is fine. But if you're illogical, I would just admit you're illogical.
Well, I'm not gonna. Okay. Let's retract. Let's retract. Why would we change the social construct of what a woman is? Why would we do that?
Because our current understanding of woman in a sociological framework leaves out people that we would see on a daily basis that we would classify under this framework. It leaves out both cis and trans women that would be perceived as this through a sociological lens. So it would make sense to update it so that way it is more inclusive and leaves out less people. I did get a message from chat to read. It says, put down the Bible and pick up a science book. So chat asked you to put down the Bible and pick up a science book. Just a reminder. Stop. Hold on. I'm reading from chat. Just a reminder, chat. Anybody that sends a $5 donation to Venmo or Cash App, I will read whatever message you put in the Venmo or Cash App, whether it is disparaging to the guest, to me, whoever you want it to be. I'll read whatever is sent. All right. So again, my answer to your question was because the current term woman would leave out people who are trans and cis that we would socially deem as fitting into this category. It would make sense to change the definition to be more inclusive.
See, why did the typical trans woman start dressing like the typical biological female in terms of the social construct of
we
being a
cannot
woman?
hear you.
Why do they typically dress like
sounds like you're in a wind tunnel. Nobody can hear you.
Come on. Can you hear me?
It sounds the exact same.
Hold on. Yeah, dang it. Can you hold on? Can you partially hear me? Can you at least partially hear me?
It sounds worse now.
Okay. Yeah, because okay. I don't know where the speaker thing is, like the mic on the AirPod is. Yeah. Fuck. Hey, but listen, to that person who sent that chat, I am a Muslim. I am not a Christian. So I don't believe today's interpretation of the Bible. Thank you very much.
Sure.
And
Then they'll just
secondly,
change the message to put down your Quran and pick up a science book.
okay, well, the Quran has many scientific miracles that humans didn't know. But we can save the argument for another time, right? So based off of what you're saying, if a trans woman, why does a trans woman typically dress like the socially constructed woman who is a biological female?
Why would a woman dress typically like a woman? I don't know, because they're women.
No, why would a man pretending to be a woman dress typically like a woman?
Why would somebody that wants to identify as a woman dress as women typically dress? I don't know. Why would baseball players wear catcher's mitts? Why would football players wear helmets? Why would an astronaut wear why would astronauts wear a space helmet? I don't know.
It's not only based off of social construct, right? We're speaking biologically. I am biologically.
Do you think? Wait. We're not speaking biologically. Socially constructed things like clothing are not biological. There's no inherent biology to the clothing women wear. It's just they've been conditioned to wear specific type of clothing due to like societal pressure and things like that. So I don't know what what you're talking about when you go like when you talk about like why someone dresses a certain way and then try to tie that into biology. There's no biology in clothing.
Well, I was going to get to that point, but you know what? Let's go based off of what you just said.
Can't hear you again. You sound like you're in a tunnel.
Would you right now rip all your clothes off and start shaking your balls in front of the camera?
No, it's against Twitch. It's against Twitch TOS and YouTube TOS. So why would I do that?
If it wasn't, would you still do that?
Would I do it? Maybe for the right amount of money. Why not?
Okay. But typically, generally, you wouldn't, because you'd be naked.
And I'm naked all the time. What's the relevance here?
You're naked all the time. Well, I'm saying naked in front of society. You'd be naked in front of society.
Yeah, what's the relevance to the conversation?
I'm saying the relevance is it was created for a reason, right? To give humans order in their lives instead of doing whatever they want. Like, such as, like, for instance, why is it wrong for us to kill people?
I don't know. You tell me.
Right? It depends, really. Because if you're killing someone in self-defense, that's, killing someone in self-defense. They were trying to harm you by either killing you or, like, physically hurting you. So you physically struck them. Physically, you killed them, right?
What's the relevance?
And it could also be a bad thing. If you just randomly, if you were to walk outside your house right now, you have a lot of people in your neighborhood. Is your neighborhood more like?
I don't understand what the relevance is to your point here. Can you land the plane and just make your point?
Because if you hypothetically ran outside your house, kicked down your neighbor's door, and just shot one of your neighbors, killing them, that would be wrong because number one, that neighbor didn't do anything to you. Number two, it's based off of society. Society tells us, right? You see, according to me, not only does my religious text tell me, but society also tells me that killing an innocent person is wrong. I don't do it.
You don't kill people only because society tells you to.
No, I said number one, my religious text and society.
Okay, so if your religious text told you to kill someone, you would. That seems kind of weird.
And it depends. Yeah, well, I have to come to a conclusion with my religious text. See, I was an atheist for a while. Found the truth within the Quran. Started reading it. Thank God I'm a Muslim, right? Because it's a correct book. It's morally sound, right? And it gives us the tools as humans as to what we need in our life, how to be, structured a correct way, right? How we conduct ourselves as human beings, right? That's the only reason why I believe it.
The only reason you believe your book is because it gives us rules.
No. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
That's
Sorry.
what you said.
Sometimes I forget to add context. Low key, I need to work on that. But that's partially one of the reasons why I believe in the book.
One of the reasons you believe in the book is because this book gives you rules to exist in society.
Exactly. It gives me rules that help me live a correct life in society.
How do you know it's correct?
First, you got to look at things in the Quran that. God damn, it's fucking in my cup, right? That's I say astaghfirullah, be like, yo, God, forgive me for I have sinned. Feel me? Anyways, one of the reasons is that it gives us scientific miracles that were undiscovered until that point, right? So look at the fact that the Quran tells us that plants have different biological sexes, meaning, and they are joined in pairs usually. The Quran poetically explains that to us humans. That's number one.
I mean, this
That's one of the
all just sounding so correct to me. You're making so much sense.
I'm making no sense.
No, you're making so
I'm
much
telling
sense.
you one of the reasons why I believe in my religious book. How is it not correct? Tell me how it's not correct.
You want me to tell you how your book is not correct?
Because that's what you're saying.
Does this make sense?
So,
really quickly, pause. I have a message from chat. If you're only a good person because the Quran tells you you're not a good person. Message from chat.
It's not necessary. It's not necessarily what I'm saying. If you look at the Quran, it tells us how we should be living our life instead of doing whatever we want.
Yeah, how do you know that this is the right way to live your life? What proof do you have of this?
What do you mean? Repeat what you said and hear you.
What proof do you have that the Quran is the right way to live your life?
Because there are different scientific miracles that prove to me that this couldn't be a book that was made by humans.
Such as?
Right? There's no way this was made by humans. This only has to be a divine book.
What were these scientific miracles?
One of them is the fact that plants are joined in pairs based off of different sexes of plants, right?
How is this a miracle of the Quran and not just basic biology? Sounds like the Quran was just somebody looking at basic
biology came to the forefront because of the Quran. Because see, the Quran was revealed in the 600s in the middle of Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula.
You think that, what do you think came first? Plants having different sexes or the Quran? What came first?
Obviously, plants having different sexes because the Quran was revealed.
So it sounds like the Quran was just making an observation of the daily work. It just sounds like the Quran was making an observation, so I wouldn't count that as a scientific miracle. Next.
And how did we get those?
I don't count observations of the daily, of observations of like the natural world to be a scientific miracle. So next. What's another one?
You're trying to play it as if this is already discovered.
I can't hear you. Nobody can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You're acting like the Quran did not discover that. Right? You're acting like it wasn't discovered because of the Quran, right?
It wasn't
That's what
discovered because of the Quran.
exactly. That's part of the
That
reason
doesn't make
why
sense. That's not how
humans
things are discovered. The book doesn't come out and make the discovery. Someone makes the discovery and then puts it in the book.
it puts it in the book. Really? Because
Yes.
I'm telling you, this book came before that discovery. That's what I'm trying to say. So how could someone have put it in the book when we know throughout all the different manuscripts of the Quran that the Quran has been unchanged throughout all this time, since the time of its inception, the time of its creation, of its inscribing.
What are you talking about?
Saying yes, obviously someone discovered it, right? But if someone discovered it before the time of the Quran, hold on. Let me gather my thoughts. Right?
I'm gonna do. I'm
trying
gonna
to
do you
think
one
of-
better. I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna move on because this is might be the most ridiculous conversation I've had in weeks. Do you guys know that the Quran, scientific miracle, plants have sexes? Damn, it's almost like plants have visible reproductive organs that you can see if you just open a plant up.